We really start. Yes.
Hello and welcome to the rings for Game 2 of the State Champ Men Grand Final Series. Big V, we're brought to you by Live Sport Australia. It's the Ringwood Hawks versus the Waverley Falcons. I'm joined by Russell Lee. Welcome, Russell.
Thanks, Hickey.
And also Andrew Seabrook is going to pop in with some questions, our resident Waverley expert. Andrew, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Matt. It's good to be here for this is now the sixth year in a row that we've streamed finals from, fifth from Ringwood here, and the crowd is huge as usual.
It is a massive turnout here from both sides, fans. I had to park out, I think, out in Warrandyte and then walk the rest of the way to get into the stadium here. It's a packed house. Now, if you aren't sure of the results from Game 1, it was Ringwood who took home the chocolates. They lead the series 1-0. They won that game 103-93. And comments from you guys regarding that game and what you saw.
Look, I think Ringwood took control fairly early in the piece, managing to get up by almost 20 points up or thereabouts. The pressure, full court pressure from Waverley heading into the final term really rattled Ringwood. Waverley able to bring it back to single digits, but, cool, calm, collected down the stretch, able to knock down free throws and managed to get their 10-point win. I expect another tight battle tonight.
Yeah, it was a shooting percentage of Ringwood in that first quarter. I think they shot at something like just under 60% in that first quarter. Waverley, on the other hand, was about 22. And you're not going to win a game like that. So for them to get back, Desmond Simmons came into the game. Tim Leaston came out, and hasn't he been a surprise?
Nominated for Youth Player, I believe, in Big V as well.
If he doesn't get it for the champion position, there's something wrong, because he has been an absolutely outstanding prospect for Waverley.
Agreed.
I put it down to his under-14 coach myself, but that's
What happened to the U, was it?
Might have been.
Might have
had
been.
a bit to do with him. But yeah, no, look, he really has been very, very good all season. And Jace Reardon came out, and it was the Jace Reardon of old, the stuff that we've been expecting to see from him the last couple of years. Just pulls up 3 points, pulls up 3 points. He really helped get the guys back in the game. The other one for Waverley, of course, that somehow Kenny's got to do something about is Chris Arkell. He
had 24 points in that game. Game 1, 24 points. Chris Arkell, as you said, a star. Simmons, that you mentioned earlier, 23 and 10 in that one, but it was Mike McCahey for the Hawks, 22 points, 7 rebounds. And Matty Snowball had a big one, 19 points, 12 assists and 7 rebounds. And you mentioned Jason Reardon earlier, and he's had just a little bit of big game experience here on this floor, albeit in a different jersey. Yeah,
no doubt about it. When he was playing for Corio, he broke a few hearts hitting a half-court shot a number of years ago. Just devastating for Ringwood faithful. You mentioned Snowball for Ringwood, but Harper for me at Waverley. It was a battle of point guards, I feel, for Game 1. I'm excited to see what they both the players can bring for game 2.
Yeah, it was, but Waverley let Snowy open too often. And the number of times he was at the top of the key there, little 12-foot floater, very easy. And they must tighten up on him because he is really dangerous. We know that he will look to pass first, but if they don't take him seriously as a scorer, he's going to put 12 points, 14 points on them easily.
Now I'm going to go to you both very early, and I bet I can predict just exactly what you're both going to say. But game 2 predictions from both of you. Hit me up with them.
I'm going to go Ringwood by 6 to get it in 2.
Yeah, look, that's where I am at the moment. The way they played last week, if they can do that, the one difference that we're going to see tonight is Brad Keller is back, and depending on how fit he is after injury break, it may make a difference.
No doubt about it.
And that is number 3, Brad Kelleher. We're just about to tip off. It's Sean Clark and Desmond Simmons in the jump. And we are underway. Sean Clark did not even bother, and the Falcons will kick us off. Ball in the hands of that man, Kelleher. Pulls up for 3 just to test the waters, not quite. And Matty Fennell, that X-Factor player, comes up with it for Ringwood. Mike McKay both trying to heat up early, both sides. Sean Clark too strong, up and in, and we're underway for game 2 of this grand final series.
We saw that in game 1. Waverley pushing hard in transition. Kel running the floor, and he gets an easy deuce just there.
Cannot let him get fired up. Snowball getting down on the runway, and he finishes well in traffic. And in a lot of grand finals, you see nerves and you think they're going to play a factor, but it is back and forth and a high-tempo game early as Harper goes back the other way. We've already got 8 points inside a minute. McKay looked to go, pushed left, probably had the right hand open. Sean Clark to set the on-ball with Matt Snowball. Thought about the 3, does jack it up, not quite. And the Falcons will take it away. Arkell, he thought about it, decided against launching the 3. Here's Simmons. A battle of 2 very strong guys going in and out, but up and under from Desmond Simmons. And it's the Falcons who take the early advantage. They lead 4-6.
Friendly roll on that shot there. Great defence by Mike McKay.
Low post entry. Didn't quite have the seal on that occasion, Sean Clark. And the Falcons again going to push the break, but a turnover on that occasion. Ken Harrington not happy with his side and that entry pass. Bit of a careless turnover. The Hawks will bring it back up the other way. It's been high tempo in these first 2 minutes. McKay looking to hit Snowball. He came off the off-ball screen. Gibson again, baseline triple. It's good. Cannot let that man get going. We've seen it before. And Jacob Gibson nails the triple.
Well-designed play there by Ken to get his imports open and early in the game.
So Waverley just taking a little bit more time this time on their possession. 3 with the left hand, not quite. Jason Reardon, he does it all. Turnover on name, maybe not. And what a great finish. Chris Arkell had one arm pinned, somehow flipped it up and in. And it's a high-intensity game early out here, guys.
You spoke about him, Andrew. He's very active to begin the game. Arkell, 4 points very quick.
Yeah, and look, he's good on the boards as well. That's the other thing. He can shoot from outside, but he'll get the offensive and the defensive rebounds as well.
Jason Reardon had hardly touched it inside that first 2 minutes, comes up with an offensive rebound and an assist, and straight away he's had an impact. So Gibson will have the ball on the wing now for the Hawks. Again looking for Clark, but again a turnover on the entry pass. Arkell's away. McKay got back well. Arkell lost the handle, and they made a bit of a meal of that, did Waverley. Pull up triple. Bang! He liked it straight out of the hand, Desmond Simmons, showing that inside-outside threat. And it's an early 12-7 lead for Waverley. Gibson gets in the paint. Beautifully done. Brilliant footwork from the American import.
Waverley wastes no time pushing it up the floor. Harper catching it on the baseline. Not the entry he would have hoped for. Straight out to Arkell, though. And Banks, another long 2.
This is I think it was a triple or 3 or 2. unsure, but it's been a high-intensity game early. Ridiculous pace for both teams. A bit of indecision on this play here for Ringwood as the clock gets down to single digits now. For now, looking for Gibson. They like this matchup here. Fadeaway jumper is sweet, and Jacob Gibson looks very hot early. That's a travel, no call, but a finish from Michael Harper, and the Hawks have to get back in defensive transition.
Without a doubt. Waverley have done it every single chance they've got so far. Guys doing a great job running the floor to get cheap transition buckets. Ringwood have got to put a stop to it.
If Ken Harrington had air, he'd be pulling it out at this point. Pull up triple, same spot, same shot, same result. Thank you very much, Desmond Simmons. And no surprise, a timeout from Coach Kenny Harrington. He has seen just about enough. It is a blistering start here. The Waverley Falcons, they lead 20-11, and we haven't even played half of the first quarter.
Yeah, unbelievable start, blistering by Waverley. Andrew talked about the shooting percentage of Waverley in the first quarter last week. I felt like they got the open looks, the shots that they might have liked to get in game one. Just couldn't knock them down. Game two, however, they're getting those same looks and they're hitting them and hitting them in bunches.
So we see, as there's just a bit of an error with the clock that they're going to adjust. Chris Arkell, he's come out 8 points already in under 4 minutes. Very impressive. And Big Simmons, 8 points as well, 2 triples. Shooting the ball very well from outside the Falcons. And down the other end, well, Jacob Gibson is keeping them in touch for Ringwood. Andrew, how have you seen that first bit of play just there in that quarter?
Oh, look, both teams, you know, I watch the university games with the girls, the emerging opals, against both Taiwan and Japan. It was edge of the seat stuff, and that's exactly what we saw then from the boys. It was really quite outstanding.
If you're a neutral supporter, this is exactly the type of game that you would hope for, but you don't necessarily expect in a grand final.
Ken made a change at that timeout too, bringing out Sean Clark, introducing Nathan Truman, defensive focus and another perimeter shooter.
Can't wait to see how him and Jason Reardon go at each other. Two guys that aren't afraid to draw off a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Great competitors, unbelievable offensive players and defensive players.
Gibson pull up off the handoff. Geez, that was not a bad miss either. He looks on early. Reardon to bring the ball down, Gibson to stay in front of him. Waverley now looking to extend the lead, possibly to double digits, very early stages first quarter. There's the three. It's off this time. Reardon worked well inside, almost got the offensive rebound, but Truman came away with it. Gibson streaming down. Kicks out. I think it will be a charge, and it is. Great effort from Michael Harper to put his body on the line for the Falcons.
Yeah, Jacob there committed to the layup. Tried to get rid of it late in the piece, but great establishment of position there by Harper to take the charge.
And you've got to remember, Jacob Gibson, just 23 years of age, a very, very young man to be out here on this big stage as an import with all the pressure on him, but he's come out well and he's performing early apart from potentially that play. So 15 seconds of fame for our floor wipers down on the baseline, and we're ready to restart. It'll be Kelleher to bring the ball down for the Waverley Falcons. Bit of a horn set up at the top of the key. Reardon will look to get Fennell on Arkell. Here is Reardon. Over Gibson. It was a bit too easy. Ken Harrington immediately looking down to his bench, and I think the changes will come. It's an 11-point ball game, and we have not even played 5 minutes yet. Snowball, geez, that was well done, couldn't finish. Matty Fennell got the ball stripped off, and again the Falcons will come away with it. Reardon, that's not a great pass. Looked good early, but just couldn't control it down the other end, and a turnover for Waverley.
Kenny making the change, as you mentioned, Hickey. Jacob Gibson coming out, and Stefan coming in.
Stefan Osborne, number 22. Been a handy pickup for Ringwood. Again, the double screen at the top of the key. We've seen that from both sides. They'll look for the low post feed. Here's McKahey. This tough man to stop inside the paint, but that was pretty well done. Knocked clear, but it'll stay Ringwood ball.
Stefan Osborne and Jason Reardon actually teammates from Corio Bay back in the day. Nice to see them go head to head.
taking time to get the ball in. Finally, it comes into Fennell. He'll go to work against Reardon. Took the contact, span, going back to the left. Tough fadeaway jumper. That's a great finish from Matty Fennell. Such a crucial part of this Ringwood Hawks setup.
Not a lot of room to get that shot away. Arkell came across to the help defence, almost got himself a block.
The most important part here, though, for Ringwood is the defensive side of the game. Oh, that is a great find. Jason Reardon, he really does it all out here. And what a handy pickup midway through the season for the Falcons. Nathan Truman steps up with confidence. What a game we have on our hands out here, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Truman shooting the three ball at over 40% on the season. That is quite incredible, Russell.
Absolutely. We talked about him being a potent offensive attribute as well as a guy that can lock down defensively. With Kelleher there driving to the rim, drawing a foul, he'll go to the line for 2.
Not a bad free throw shooter. Shooting 65%, but as a team, the Falcons actually struggle a little bit from the line. Don't have anybody apart from Michael Harper that shoots above 70% on the season.
Coming back from injury too, Kelleher looks quite good. He's moving well. Probably hasn't found his form offensively yet, but give him time.
Has played every second of this first quarter so far. Misses both on that one. And it's Hawks through Osborne that come away with it. Osborne looking to be aggressive. Ken Harrington will love to see that. And a great finish. Nobody paid him much respect. And straight away, a timeout to Waverley as the Hawks bring it back to a 6-point ball game.
Yeah, Hawks done a good job there, just closing that gap, blowing out to double digits early there for Waverley. Good time out there by Elias to bring his charges back together and refocus.
And while we get the opportunity, a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Ringwood Nissan. And if you've had the pleasure of seeing the beautiful Nissan X-Trail that the imports have had the pleasure of driving around, you'll understand why we are big fans of Ringwood Nissan. So it's 24-18. The Falcons, the away team, it's do or die for them, and they lead at this point. They've come out all guns blazing. But Ringwood, through their bench, surprisingly have managed to just peg it back and got it back to a 6-point ball game under 4 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Andrew, how did you see that small section of play just then? Ringwood able to wrestle back some of the momentum.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the Falcons do not want to do. Give away those little bursts there as well. So onto the floor at the moment is Dean Neville. One of the things about Dean is that he has the length to change shots, which is what we saw last week as well. So again, very interesting to see what happens. Kelleher off the floor, which means that this man on the screen, Reardon, is going to have to take over the point guard duties.
The crowd finding some voice as well. They're getting excited out here. Tough move, great move in fact. And that was Michael Harper. Just put him in the weight room down on the low block and extends the lead back out to 8 points. So switching almost everything that happens on the ball. McKay goes to, Fennell, and a great finish. Timmins just lost him on that little baseline cut. Simmons, I apologise. So Reardon will bring it back. High scoring, only 46 points scored in this first quarter, and we still have 3 minutes to go. Great low post seal, and the feed was good from Simmons. Michael Harper drew the foul, and it looks like Trevor Latham about to step on for Ringwood. One foul away from being in the bonus as well, the Falcons.
Harper's got a size advantage over Osborne in the low post, and good isolation there by Waverley to get some cheap points and a cheap foul on that occasion.
So Matty Fennell will take a rest inside 3 minutes to play in the first. As casual as you like from range, couldn't make it. Reardon, surprise, surprise, is the one in and hustling for the offensive rebound. Simmons was there as well. But it'll be Ringwood ball on the baseline as they look to reload.
Latham checks in. Fennell sits down for a rest. Snowball doing the point guard duties for Ringwood.
Hands off to Osborne. Great handoff and a great attack on the ring. Mike McKay, he turned the corner brilliantly then, got that inside step. Well, that could have potentially been a travel, nothing called. Reardon, that's ridiculously deep. Couldn't make it. It's got to be an over-the-back foul, and it is. It's called on Chris Arkell. And there is a bit of tension and a technical foul called.
Yeah, Arkell not happy with Matty Snowball's box out there. Called a foul for reaching over, thrown the ball onto the baseline. And Aiden Baker there calling a technical foul. Stephen Osborne to shoot the free throw for Ringwood.
So just silly play when they've had the momentum all day so far. I mean, we're very early stages still, but again, a silly play that you just can't afford in these grand finals. They are game changers, no doubt about that. Osborne missed the free throw, potentially a bit of a let-off, but Arkell will take a seat. And it'll be Ringwood who will come away with it. Chance to bring it back to just one shot, the difference. Snowball trying to, and does, make his presence felt in the low block and in this game. Great finish from Matty Snowball. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Great take and a great right-hand finish on that occasion from Dean Neville. A bit of agility showing from the big fella. Back out to 4 points. Snowball with the sneaky between the legs handoff. Osborne missed the triple. McKay got it back. He lost it out of bounds. And it's going to be Waverley ball.
Ken Harrington not too happy with that call. Felt like it was off Waverley. Kelleher to reload for Waverley.
Don't think either side or any of the umpires were entirely sure whose ball that was going to be, but it went the way of the defence. Pulled the trigger, bang, no respect, shown to Michael Harper, and he made them pay and pushes the lead back out to 7 points.
Unusual for Ringwood not to show respect. We talked about Harper being excellent last week, both attacking the paint and from the perimeter. Must not let that happen again.
Gibson looks to check back in for Ringwood as McKay looks to go to work. Almost lost the handle, up and under, no foul called. And that will be Waverley ball. A lot of physical pressure and presence felt inside that paint. Waverley come up with the goods. As we see Gibson check back in for Osborne.
Another floor sweeper there, getting his 15 seconds of fame.
And Keller's still out there for Waverley, so he must be feeling all right.
Yeah, he went off for a while and he's come back on to give Keller a rest.
Can sometimes, that little rest can sometimes hurt you and force you to just get a bit cold, but he has come back out and looks ready to go, which is good signs for Waverley. Simmons has been aggressive. He's the man we were just speaking of. Thought about the triple, decided against it. Down to 6 seconds on the shot clock. Simmons looking to shake and bake. Oh, he's on early. That is a tough shot. Hand in his face, looking very confident. Gibson went straight up, missed a shot he probably should have made on the left hand. Simmons doing it down both ends.
Ringwood trying to replicate what Waverley is doing early in this piece and push the ball hard to no avail on that occasion.
Inside the last 30 seconds of this first quarter, and Waverley have a chance to push it back outside of double digits. Reardon wants to go at Truman. Down to 5, 4, got to get a shot up, 3, 2. Great defense from Truman. Ball comes down, 8 seconds now. Latham's got to get on with it. Now Snowball with 5, with 4, 3. Kicks over to Gibson. No surprise he was going to let it go and buried it. Big shot heading into quarter time. They wanted a foul. It didn't come, but it's back to a 6-point ball game at quarter time. Ken Harrington having a word to the umpires. It has been an amazing, a blistering first quarter. Incredible scenes early. Russell, your thoughts on that first period?
Yeah, well, Waverley took charge early, making those shots that they couldn't find last week. They've done it across the board. Obviously, Simmons and Arkell doing it early. 10 points each to them. Harper's got 9. You know, if you're giving up 29 points across 3 players on one team, Ringwood have got some work to do defensively to shut it down. They've got to take better care of the ball. You mentioned it, Hickey, those entry passes to the low post, and Ken got Clark out early, were just no good. They also need to stop the bleeding in transition.
Jacob Gibson been good for Ringwood. He has 10 points. As we mentioned, the Waverley stats earlier, and we can see on your screen some of the highlights. Jacob Gibson heated up early, went a little bit cold, took a break, came back out on, and that's a big 3 to finish because it could have potentially got out of hand at one point for Ringwood. They managed to pull it back, but Waverley bounced back out to almost that double-digit lead. but a big 3 for momentum as we see Desmond Simmons. The confidence over on that left wing, something that we've seen here, been pretty impressive, and a big guy with range, Andrew, is very impressive.
Yeah, he really is, and that's the thing about him, is that he's really very strong under the basket there, but he will pull up and stretch the floor all the time. So they just can't assume that he's going to...
Before we get started again, quick shout out to Original Joe's, located 66 Main Street, Croydon, our favourite pizzas. Might order some of those before we finish up here, and it'll be 2 shots. Ken Harrington had a word to the umpires just after the quarter-time siren went, and he'll be happy to see that an early foul called, and Mike McKay will earn 2 free throws at the line. Also a quick shout out to anybody tuning in from overseas, the family of any of the imports out here tonight, any former imports or players from either club. Quick shout out to you guys. Hope you're enjoying the coverage at probably the wee hours of the morning as we see McKay knocks down both. A very impressive free throw shooter, shooting over 75% on the year.
Absolutely. Let's extend that to Mark and Michelle Sutton in the UK at the moment, Hickey, valued members of the Ringwood community, and former Youth League coach Mark Sutton and assistant to Ken Harrington at a state champ level.
And hopefully for their sake, Maxie gets some time out on the court as a travel. Again, that defense that we spoke about, Dean Neville, that length coming up trumps there, and Gibson turns the ball over because he just couldn't get the ball out of his hands.
Keller reloading for Waverley.
Pulls up like he did early. As we see Neville come down and he couldn't finish like we saw early in the first quarter. He did the same thing. And so just a bit of a rusty start for both teams, especially considering how amazing it was in that first quarter. Gibson gets the on-ball screen from Latham, pulls up for 3 off one dribble. Latham with the hustle rebound, and you've got to love that as a head coach.
Absolutely. The second chance opportunities are hard to come by, but can really shift the momentum in the game.
So down to just 2 points the margin now. Great intercept from Gibson, and he thought he was still in as he flicked it back in. It'll be 10 seconds on the shot clock. It won't reset because he didn't have full possession of the ball. As we see, Leasting steps onto the floor, number 23 for Waverley, as we said earlier, nominated for Youth Player of the Year for State Champ Men.
Incredible talent, and he'll be definitely part of Waverley's future.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Got to get a shot up. Went the reverse layup, and that is a stiff foul called on Gibson. And early here in the second quarter, the refs looking to reel back in some of that physicality. It's going to be interesting to see how Leasting goes up against Snowball.
As expected, Gibson's second foul. Ken gets him out, won't risk the third in this second quarter. Fennell checking back into the game.
And it's worth noting, Chris Arkell also has the 2 fouls after that over the back, and immediately after that a technical. So it'd be interesting to see when he steps back out onto the floor as the free throw is made from Kelleher. Just to push the lead back out a little bit, and the Ringwood crowd getting very loud early stages. It's going to be a long night from the line for the Falcons. And as we say that, the second hits back iron and is rebounded by the Hawks. Looking for Latham. He was there for a lot of the offense. Simmons, I think he might have just said, have a look at how long he's in there for, but was always at a disadvantage as Trevor Latham put that backside into him and created space for himself. As we see Chris Arkell step back out on the floor, as does Michael Harper, two really important players for the Falcons.
Crowd's still building here at Ringwood. Shout out to Maroona City Council. Love to see some of their delegates out today to have a look at how Ringwood's community is building and the need for a larger gym.
Trevor Latham finishes with the beautiful little sky hook. And if he can get going and really have an impact, that will be very crucial for Ringwood and make Ken Harrington very, very happy. So a good bit of movement off the ball here for Waverley. They end up getting the ball to Arkell. That little step back jumper, try to bank it in, I think. And the foul's going to be on Simmons. That's a second in the quarter for him.
Yeah, good pick up from the ref though. He did get the arm.
It's a 1-point ball game. 2 minutes played in the second quarter. Ringwood looking to take advantage. Oh, beautiful split of the double team. Latham potentially might have travelled. I think he managed to hold on to his pivot foot on the ground. Great dribble, great find. But again, straight back down the other end. Waverley have this knack of just replying as soon as they get the opportunity.
Slowed down a little bit in this second period. You talked about, settling in time. Look for some momentum now.
As Reardon gets a hand on that, it'll stay Ringwood ball. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Spectacular play, that last one from Matty Snowball. Thing that you've seen probably 1,000 times for him, but it still gets better every time you see it. So single digits, down to 6 now. McKay might pull up. Thought about it. Ball goes to Truman. There's a coin rolling on the floor. And that puts Ringwood in front with the triple. 38-36. It's all happening out here at the rings. Simmons are going to go to work. Post hook is good. And it's a tie ball game. 7 minutes to go here in the second period. The handoff decides against it, and the foul was drawn. Just has that knack of when you think you know what Matt Snowball is about to do, he does the complete opposite.
Yeah, he's a dangerous player. Andrew talked about him being that first pass option is his favourite. However, change direction really, really quickly and can create an unbelievable shot.
So really important stages now for both sides, particularly Waverley, who've given up a bit of a lead. They do not want to let Ringwood grab this game by the scruff of the neck and push it out to a double-digit lead. As again, Latham, not this time, and Jason Reardon collects those boards so often, gets that one. Speaking of Reardon, here he is. Goes back inside to Simmons, looking to go to work on McKay. Got a height mismatch, fade away. Not quite, and Matty Fennell comes up with the rebound. Fennell going on the left, decides against it, off to Truman. Just lost the handle. Comes out to Snowball, shoots the triple. Oh, and the crowd would have got very excited if he nailed that one. Doesn't happen too often. Leasting just a bit unsure on that occasion. Reardon picks up the dribble. Latham trying to guard Harper. And it's a travel call. So a bit of a bailout there. And that'll be disappointing for Waverley.
Yeah, late call on that one, and the crowd was calling it before the whistle, but it was there.
So Matty Fennell taking up the point guard duties, which we've seen a bit of during this final series. Ball now out to Truman. On-ball screen with Snowball. Trevor Latham setting it. Leasting trying to stay in front of Matty Snowball. Great entry pass. Just couldn't work out. They got the look that they were probably in search of, but couldn't finish on that occasion, Trevor Latham.
Reardon now looking after the ball. A silly foul there by Latham at the top of the key. Frustration foul after missing that point-blank shot.
And I think he will step out, and in comes Sean Clark. It'll be Waverley side ball. Reardon with it at the top of the key, over to Leasting. Decides to go against Snowball. Oh, good finish, almost, from Leasting. And that is a charge against Fennell. Give credit, though, to Leasting to attack the rim. Liked his pace, his agility on that occasion against Snowball.
Now, an offensive foul's been called against Matty Fennell after Arkell took contact from him at half court. The crowd did not like that one, neither did the Ringwood bench. I'd need to get another look at it to decide whether or not justified. Thoughts, guys?
It was, from my view, it looked like it could have easily been called one of those 50-50 ones. But if the offensive player doesn't see the defensive play, normally it is going to go against him.
Yeah, look, he was in position, but the argument would be, was the contact down the centre or not? From this angle, we couldn't really tell.
So down to 15 on the shot clock for Waverley. Their movement off the ball has been pretty impressive as Arkell launches a triple. And he looks to get back into the game after giving away that technical in the first quarter.
Very talented perimeter scorer. Fennell couldn't have done much more than that. He had a hand right in his face. That height at which he lets go of the rock, incredible.
McKay looked to get it right back, couldn't. That was Simmons almost pulling up in transition again from the perimeter. Low post feed. Arkell going again. Couldn't get that one a roll. Great rebound from Sean Clark. And he's going to bring the ball up the court. Ken Harrington on the edge of his seat probably watching that. McKay gets it. Turnover, Reardon again away. Great feed to Arkell. Great defense though from Matty Snowball. Transition basket was on. Again touched. Again finished this time from Desmond Simmons. And it'll be a timeout, I believe, for Ringwood. As the Waverley Falcons take a 5-point lead. They lead 43-38. And a bit of back and forth and a bit of unruly play from both sides.
Yeah, Ken won't be too happy. Back-to-back turnovers as Ringwood look to pass over the top of the defender. Waverley playing great defence, hands up, and they're taking the ball right from their opposition. Need to rectify that. Better use of the ball required by the Hawks.
So we've got 4:18 left to play in the second term. Both sides just one foul away from being in the bonus. Another opportunity to shout out to one of our sponsors. And this time it's Optus at Stud Park. See our very own champion team manager Luke Brody for all your communication needs. Just ask for him. He'll be able to help you out, give you a good deal down there at Optus in Stud Park.
Also get a shout out for Brett Freeman, one of our friends and sponsors from Noel Jones in Ringwood, who's here with his family tonight, sitting alongside the Ringwood bench. Welcome to the Rings, Brett and family, and thank you for your support this year.
What are they good for, Russell? They're good for selling,
buying
and renting.
Oh, I think we've done that before, Hickey.
I think maybe a couple times.
I think it's getting old.
Nice.
Sure, we could class it up a bit more than that.
So Ringwood to restart it, and it is almost another turnover coming out of that timeout. McKay gets the open look for three. Not quite. And Reardon again coming up with the rebound, as he does ever so often. Arkell pull up in transition three. He was feeling it. Good tip from Truman. Managed to knock it out of Desmond Simmons' hands. Osborne with the ball. He's checked into the game. Fennell at the top. And there is a call off the ball. It's going to be on Ringwood. It's going to be Waverley basketball. And it will be on Sean Clark. As we see Matt Snowball, I think he had a break for about 12 seconds and he's back on Matty Fennell out.
So Waverley now in the bonus then. So
any foul, unless it is offensive, will result in 2 free throws for both sides at this point.
Waverley's still got one to give away.
Leasting handoff. Little step back that time is long from Michael Harper.
Great board there by Leasting. Absolutely monstrous for the putback.
Giving Coach Elias from the Waverley Falcons a nice little boost off the bench. The exuberance of youth. Osborne up fake. Gets to the basket. Way to create some space for himself. Probably not the shot that Ken Harrington was looking for. Snowball takes the jumper, rims out, and Reardon will come away with it. Falcons lead by 7. Reardon for 3. Short. Probably the best opportunity he has had all night from the perimeter. Couldn't get that one to go down.
Truman now calling the shots.
Here's Osborne on the wing. Down inside 10 seconds on the shot clock. Truman just with confidence, in rhythm, coming off the baseline screen. Very nice pull-up jumper for that long too.
Waverley dangerous again, looking to push the ball. Arkell running the floor hard, just couldn't quite get it to him early enough.
Here's that matchup, McKay and Simmons. Simmons, the turnaround fadeaway, not quite. Hasn't been able to get that going. And a very important last 2 minutes and 10 seconds for both sides as they enter half-time. Leads 5 for Waverley. Osborne gets the ball at the top. Now off to McKay. Back to Snowball. Corner Truman. It's good. And it's a 2. A deep 2 foot on the line. Nathan Truman putting in some great minutes for Coach Ken Harrington.
Yeah, they're looking for him at the moment. He's feeling quite good about his shot by the looks of it. So they're running sets for him.
Arkell with the up fake. Got it off. But couldn't finish. Just enough pressure put on by that man, Nathan Truman. A minute and a half to go here in this second term. It's been a frenetic game early. Osborne with a hand in his face. That's a confident shot.
Would have tied the game up. Shawnee attempt to get the O-board. Turnover.
That time from Michael Harper. Very errant pass from him. Osborne back. He's looking very confident. Goes to the ring. Got blocked. Got his ball back off to Truman. And they still have 15 seconds on the shot clock. McKay, great drive. Right hand finish. Too easy on that occasion from Mike McKay.
1 point game, 44-45. Waverley leading.
This is the game that everybody was hoping for. High intensity, high scoring, and tight. As Arkell looks to go on Snowball. Clear height mismatch. Fadeaway jumper as easy as you like. Bit of Dirk Nowitzki in that one.
Yeah, no doubt. Definite height advantage there over Snowball.
Just the one leg up, fading away. Good luck blocking that. Have the chance to get the 2 for 1, but they've probably taken too long now, the Hawks. Truman again in rhythm. Oh, he is feeling it now. Nathan Truman in rhythm is having a massive second quarter. The Waverley Falcons will hold for the last shot of the second term. Let's see what they can come up with. Scores are tied at 47 apiece. Inside 10 seconds. Screen comes from Harper. Reardon gets to the lane. Was fouled hard by Sean Clark. 2 free throws caught. I'm unsure about that. Thought he put the ball down for an extra dribble.
Yeah, no, they were in bonus.
In the
anyway.
bonus, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
So
very right.
He should have let him go and just put pressure on the. Now, Jace Reardon, usually very good from the free throw line.
Has only shot 61%, which is solid, but without being amazing for an outside shooter, a specialist like he is.
Without a doubt. Ken made a change there too. Got Sean Clark out of the game, adding another shooter in Jacob Gibson for the last shot of the quarter.
There'll be 4.7 seconds left. When Ringwood get it, if they get it, super loud here. Second one's good. Here we go. 4.7. Snowball over to Truman. Surely not again with 1 second. Oh, back rim. A good look considering the fumble from Matty Snowball. But it is halftime in game 2 of the state championship men Big V Grand Final Series. And it is the visitors, the Waverley Falcons, who hold a 48-47 lead. It's been up and down. It's been high tempo, high scoring. How have you seen it so far, Russell Lee?
Oh, I agree with everything you're saying, Hickey. High tempo, high scoring, absolutely line ball. Now, Waverley have been able to mount a couple of challenges to Ringwood, pushing it out to double digits, but Ringwood have been able to respond calm and collected to just close that gap. Going to be a very exciting second half. Focus points for either team will be shutting down Arkell and Simmons down one end versus, as we were just talking about, Truman and Gibson for Ringwood.
Andrew, what have you seen so far in this first half of basketball?
Well, it's interesting. Matt Fennell's been held really, really well. He was the danger player in game 1. Really destroyed the Falcons in that first quarter. And the other thing too is that the Falcons came out in game 1 and used a lot of zone, which got them in there. I reckon they've only just touched on it once or twice so far. So it'd be interesting to see when Elias decides to drop into a zone.
So Ringwood, some stats for them. Jacob Gibson has 10 points in just 7.5 minutes. He's got 2 fouls. So does Matty Fennell and Sean Clark. So potentially some foul trouble from Ringwood in that one. Also incredible off the bench. That second period was very impressive for Nathan Truman. He has 13 points. Missed just that one shot, which was that one at the end of the second quarter, which should have probably gone. It looked very nice out of the hand. For Waverley, while we look over to their side of the ball game, Harper's been good. He has 11 points. Chris Arkell, 15 points. He's got 2 fouls. Just keep an eye on that. Desmond Simmons, another guy with 2 fouls. He's got 14 points, 4 rebounds. Has been pretty impressive. Just missed the 2 shots and has pulled up in transition with a lot of confidence.
Other telling stats here, Hickey. Points off turnovers. Waverley 15 to Ringwood 7. We talked about those low post entry passes. Ringwood have got to do a better job looking after the ball. Can't afford to bleed the way they have in those points off turnovers Waverley's way. Ringwood, 21 points off the bench versus Waverley's 4. So Ken looking to his bench to gain momentum and close that gap after Waverley has built 2 double-digit leads across the first half.
And an interesting thing, I think if it continues to play out in this fashion, high scoring, you probably have to look for Ringwood, who will take the game. They are the best offensive side in the league throughout the regular season, scoring over 2,100 points. No other side got above 2,000, which is pretty impressive for the Ringwood Hawks. Waverley, on the other hand, best defensive team in the regular season and allowing under 1,700 points. So if it continues to play out in this high-scoring nature, you'd have to think that will play in the favour of the Ringwood Hawks. Another chance to shout out one of our sponsors, the Bendigo Bank. Ringwood, great supporters of the Ringwood Hawks Schools and Community Program. We see a number of the Ringwood Hawks Bendigo Bank basketballs being dribbled around by the youngsters out on the court at the moment. So we've got a little while to go before we start the second half. And really, what are the key factors for you, Russell, for both sides, if they're going to take the advantage and take the chocolates, and potentially for the Ringwood Hawks take the championship?
Well, I think it's nullifying the stars of that first half. Again, we talked about Kellen Simmons for Waverley, Gibson and Truman for the Hawks. Both teams have got a number of guys that can step up, really fill it up. Andrew talked about Fennell's impact being lowered in this game too. Snowball as well. He might have given 7 dimes to his teammates, but only with the 4 points, I believe. So look for Ringwood to get others involved. Same with Waverley, Reardon to step up, and Harper to potentially put some further points on the board.
And Andrew, for you?
Yeah, look, it's just going to be an interesting one to see which of the Falcons can actually step up. Their productivity dropped off in that second quarter. Desmond Simmons started the quarter off well, hitting a couple of threes, but then just went quiet. So we see Kelleher attacking the basket there at the moment. He's got to try and get some shots from range as well. The more they spread the Ringwood defence, I think the more dangerous they're going to be, because they've got the slashes, they've got Harper, they've got Leasting, they've got Keller. They can get to the rim, but they've got to spread the floor first.
And Leasting been very impressive for the minutes that he has come off the bench for. Very explosive when he takes it off the dribble in his 8 minutes. He's got a couple points, a couple of rebounds. He's been pretty good. Now, halftime, I'm going to give you both the opportunity to change your prediction if you want to. I'm guessing that you probably won't. Maybe, Andrew, you might. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to change your prediction.
No, look, I still think this is Ringwood's to lose. I think it's going to be close. It has been close already. I don't think the Falcons are going to let them come out and have it easy. But I still think that Kenny has actually got the ingredients to get a tight win.
And Russell, for you?
Look, I'd be maligned to change my tip there, Hickey, as well. Obviously, Waverley's played an excellent first half. Ringwood asserted themselves in game 1 a little bit better than they have in game 2. Now down by a point at half time. Ringwood to win the game for me. I'll still go with a 6-point margin, but wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot less. They'll even face an overtime situation.
Bit of a trivial question here for you, Russell.
Yes.
Have you ever predicted against the Ringwood side?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Without a doubt.
Is that when we've been out on the floor in the youth league, or?
It might be, Hickey, might have been when I was forced to play you 40 minutes. Maybe don't quite have the confidence that we're going to get a W.
That's a guaranteed win. I don't know what you're talking about. So the players are beginning to warm up again as we see some more of the highlights. Desmond Simmons, that little hesitation dribble, very impressive. Not much you can do about that one. Another chance. We'll shout out one more of our sponsors. FODMAPs, being a loyal supporter and helper at the Ringwood Hawks. And don't forget to follow the Hawks on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And as we've mentioned before, once again, Ken Harrington, who looks after the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, has stitched me up by photoshopping my head with a nice little glow around it, sticking it on a poster. Let's hope that doesn't happen anymore next year or any more productions going forward.
Oh, I almost guarantee it. He likes giving you a bit of stick there, Hickey. It's good for everyone. To our juniors watching at home as well, don't forget to hit up Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for your junior tryout dates, which we're coming to the end of the VJBL season. Many of our teams currently playing finals and or making grand finals. Best of luck to them and congratulations to all our juniors across this season. But don't forget to register for your tryouts starting in October.
And on a bit of a selfish note, congratulations to you, Russell.
Oh, thank you very much.
Your under-20 side progressing through?
Yes, they did. They had a 5-point win against Knox last night. Finished second for the year, didn't eliminate, but we knocked off top to progress to the grand final in a fortnight's time. Sitting on the bench for the champion, Cade Fidolani, hasn't seen any court time this evening, but definitely a leader in that under-20s team, scoring 22 points last night, 13 points in the first term to get us that win. And
if you had to put a percentage on how much of it was from the coach and how much of it was from the players, what would you say?
Look, I'm a modest bloke, so I'd say about 90% is the coach.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. I'm previous coach of the year at a youth league level, so understandable. I'll make sure I'll pass that on to the rest of the boys as well.
Excellent, appreciate it. They wouldn't be surprised.
So we've got a minute and a half before the second half tips off. It's a 1-point lead for the Waverley Falcons. We see more of the highlights coming up. Also, a quick shout out to, speaking of Cade Fidolani, his uncle over in Coffs Harbour, if I can get it out, is tuning in. And hopefully for his sake, Cade does get on the floor. But if it stays like this, we might not see him. 1-point ball game. Exciting game it's been. Waverley really took the advantage early. A couple of 10-point advantages throughout that first half. And Ringwood able to draw it back. Took a brief lead, but it didn't stick around for very long. And so starting for the Hawks in this second half, I should say, Matty Snowball, Sean Clark, Matt Fennell, Mike McKahey, and Jacob Gibson. And out there for the Waverley Falcons is Desmond Simmons, Michael Harper, Jason Reardon, Chris Arkell, and Brad Kelleher, who seem to get through the game quite well so far. Hasn't had a major impact, but hasn't looked restricted at all by the injury that we were speaking about pre-game. Underway here, ready to go. All there to play for. Ringwood have a chance to take the championship. Waverley can push it to game 3, which will be tomorrow at the Rings. Great block, but a foul called. And the famous death stare from Sean Clark when he gets a foul that he doesn't think he should have got.
Yeah, I think it was the body rather than the contact on the ball. A little push there by Sean. Might have been the right call there by the referee, despite Ken having a bit of a word to Brad on the sideline.
As we see the free throw, the first one's good from Michael Harper. Ken Harrington, like that little devil sitting on the shoulder of the referee at the moment. As we see Harper finishes a second 2 from 2, something that we haven't seen a lot of now. Some full court pressure from the Falcons.
And this was dangerous last week. They performed a bit of full court pressure in the fourth period in game 1 and really closed the gap.
How about that bounce pass from Matty Snowball? Very impressive. The Hawks managed to get around the full court pressure relatively easily.
I have no doubt that was something that Ken worked on with the boys during the week at training.
So Reardon, top of the key, hands off. Kelleher pulls up, triples long, and Sean Clark comes away with the rebound, and now the Hawks are going to push the ball. Snowball in and out dribble. Now to Sean Clark. He can nail those, and he does. And he gave a little glare over to the Waverley fans, or maybe a cheeky little look to the Ringwood fans sitting there. Great take. That time from Michael Harper, and we see it over and over and over again. A big shot from Ringwood. Waverley answers straight back down the other end.
A hard task there by Sean Clark to guard Harper.
This time, Sean Clark takes it off the dribble. Lost control. Simmons comes away with it. Great defense and a charge called. You've got to give credit to Matty Snowball. You'll be a confident man standing in front of the 200-centimetre Desmond Simmons. But he draws the charge and a big play that the crowd really get behind here at the Rings.
Simmons signalling to the bench that he would like to stay in, even though that's his third personal foul. Smart move, I think, too, with the quality of player that he is.
Sean Clark also with 3. And he has also decided to stay out. So potentially some risky moves made by both coaches, but they know what they're doing. Both nominated for Coach of the Year in the State Champ Men division. 2 of 5 that have nominated. So just about a minute and a half gone here in this third quarter. And we have a tied ball game. Ringwood 52, Waverley 52. The Hawks with the ball. Gibson just a little head fake. McKay, one dribble pull up to his right. Normally bread and butter for him, but Chris Arkell gets the rebound. And here come the Waverley Falcons.
Reardon dishing, Kelleher in the corner, and nails it.
Has been looking to get going, and that time he was ready, down in the shooting pocket, in rhythm, shot the ball well, nailed the triple. Gibson thought about it, that head fake again. Maybe a body foul, not called. Snowball, he'll shoot the 3. It's long. Great rebound on the offensive way for Jacob Gibson. Gets it again, and you've got to applaud the hustle from Jacob Gibson. 2 offensive rebounds, puts it in. Got to be happy when your shooters are out there doing that. Ken Harrington looking to go to Nathan Truman as well. He has 13 points. He's going to check back in next whistle. That looked good from our angle, but it was long. Fennell with the rebound. And the fouls against Jacob Gibson. Jason Reardon drawing it. Waverley fans are happy with it.
Yeah, incidental contact there by Jacob, but unfortunately I believe that was the right call. Might have caught Reardon a little bit off balance, but it was enough contact for that personal foul.
And that was Gibson's 3rd foul. As now the Hawks look to go a bit small. Nathan Truman steps in for Sean Clark. It'll be McKay staying with Simmons as we see a great inbound play. And it was Jason Reardon who finished with the 2 and pushes the lead out to 3 for the Waverley Falcons. Great finish. Matty Snowball through contact, right hand. Beautiful way in. Wanted the foul as well. Gets that glare about him as we see a bit of a horns action at the top of the key for Waverley. Arkell, great take. Casual as you like, and that is a foul call. Didn't look like there was much in it. But a foul called, and Arkell will go to the line to shoot the bonus. Just very casual about the way he goes about it. Thought he might have tried to get upstairs. He's a long unit. Just laid it up through the foul. Potential 3-point play, as you do.
Absolutely. Efficiency rather than style there, Hickey.
Don't know about that.
You might be able to learn something from Arkell.
Arkell will look to make it a 4-point ball game now as the crowd gets very loud and he finishes it. So it's Waverley 60, Ringwood 56. 3 minutes gone in the 3rd. Ball down low to Mike McKay. We're going to go to work on Reardon. Reardon, as he does so often, gets that little hand in there, and it's the Falcons that come up with the ball.
Good push.
Kelleher long again. I don't mind that transition 3 though, Russell.
No, for when you got the shooters on the perimeter to load up and be able to knock them down at the semis they do, you'd always take it as Snowball goes straight down the heart of the key for another 2.
We mentioned in the semi-final, Ringwood and their players have a great knack, as we see Reardon misses the triple, a great knack of using their body to create space and hanging in the air and finishing. As we see Snowball goes again, as I say, couldn't finish on that occasion. Desmond Simmons with the rebound, and Kelleher will come away with it. So Matty Snowball looking to be aggressive, scoring the points himself here in the 3rd. They'll look for Simmons in the low block. Will he go to that fadeaway? Double team comes from Truman. Out to Harper, left-hand triple, rolls in. Dangerous double teaming in the low block. Simmons has been good, but hasn't done too much of his damage down low. Done a lot from the perimeter and shooting those jumpers. Truman really feeling, oh my Lord, if you don't mind. And he looked over at Bradley Kelleher and said, where are you at, mate? Where are you at?
Don't think Kelleher did a lot wrong.
Didn't do much wrong at all. Amazing shot. Nathan Truman really feeling it. Matty Fennell comes over hard. Great pass. There he is again. Left hand. He couldn't get it to go. But way to run the floor. Matty Fennell. Chris Arkell look a little bit shook up as he just punches over in that huddle.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there from Fennell.
Matty Fennell's very solid, isn't he? You wouldn't want to make contact with him in a even on a light night.
Absolutely.
Coming from experience, I can 100% back that comment up, Andrew. So free throw missed. We'll be disappointed with that.
2-point ball game, 61-63 Waverley's way.
Nails the second.
As Fennell cuts it to a 1-point deficit.
Shoots just over 70% from the free throw line, Matty Fennell.
Leasting checked back in for Waverley as Kelleher has a sit on the bench.
So ball with Arkell now. Looking for Reardon on the curl off the off-ball screen. It's going to be a foul on Nathan Truman. Ken Harrington just gets a little bit of a warning, and the Waverley fans don't mind it.
Don't know if that was Ken. It might have been one of his assistant coaches yelling a little bit too loud there, Hickey, but I think unhappy about a potential moving pick.
Nathan Truman was trying to fight around the pick. However, it was pinged for the foul. Watch for Reardon. Got it last time these play happened. He gets it this time, but not an easy look. Up fakes, drives hard on the left. Scoop layup is good. All class and a veteran finish from Jason Reardon. Snowball with some space as other teams give him, but he takes full advantage. Finishes with the right hand, and he's got the angry face on him. Wanted a foul, has not got one at all, driving to the lane, the rack. He finishes on that occasion despite the contact.
Snowball working towards a double-double. 10 points now, 8 dimes.
Matty Fennell with some fancy work with the handle. Again, cutting the double team. Trying to draw the foul, doesn't get it. Nothing doing for Matty Snowball on that occasion. He split the double team so well. Chris Arkell, Mike McKay takes a bit of a sacrificial blocking foul on that occasion. And that is in the bonus already for Waverley. Arkell will shoot 2, so potentially a costly one for Mike McKay on that occasion.
Definitely informs the frustration we're seeing from the Ringwood bench. 5 foul, 2 called this quarter in favour, in Waverley's favour. So 2 bonus now for every foul that Ringwood commits.
That's 19 points with that free throw for Arkell. Here's a chance to go to 20. And we still have about a quarter and a half to play, so he's been very crucial, Chris Arkell. Almost can't hear yourself think when they shoot free throws, but the second is good. It's a 3-point lead to the Waverley Falcons. So kicking the ball around the top of the key now, the Hawks. Snowball's been great at creating now for himself and others, as he always does. McKay turns the corner, tough finish. Falling away, couldn't get it. Jason Reardon comes up with the rebound. Oh, that is a nice play. A pretty finish, a pretty lob from Reardon, and Desmond Simmons had the athletic ability and the length to finish that one. Again,
great running up the floor by Waverley, pushing the ball in transition. Ringwood have to get back to deny. Truman short on that one, but Fennell with the O board.
Bit of a heat check for Truman. Gibson thought about the triple. Great drive to the rack. Truman extra pass McKay. Great ball movement. He went without it though. Snowball goes to Fennell. Steps into the triple. Short. And it's Harper that comes away with it. And a big opportunity for Waverley to push it out. A triple. That's a travel. Just lost the handle, and it meant that he took that extra little step coming into that shot. Got a little bit excited on that occasion, Jason Reardon.
Yeah, he did. Stephen Osborne coming in for the Hawks as Jacob Gibson has a rest.
Interesting to see if that missed triple just slows down Nathan Truman at all. He's been absolutely on fire from distance. That one short, potentially a bit tired on that shot. We'll see how he goes though. Ball with Osborne now.
I feel like Waverley have really upped the intensity around their defence.
Snowball for 3, tries it again, and once again it hits a couple. Oh, big block. Desmond Simmons said, get that weak stuff out of here. Here comes Leasting attacking the ring. Nice Euro step, but tipped clear from Osborne, and Arkell gets it to Reardon. Great attack from Reardon. No good. Truman with the rebound. No signs of fatigue for him. Goes to Fennell. Oh, that is a charge. And the Ringwood crowd aren't happy. For a big man, Desmond Simmons did seem to hit the ground a little bit easy on that occasion, but he had position, so you've got to give him credit.
Yeah, I think Fennell tried to avoid. It was too little too late. Not a big hit, but enough to get the referee to call a foul.
And I'm not sure when the Logies are, but Desmond Simmons might want to hang around and see if he can pick one up. But good positioning from him, so you do have to give him credit for that. 5-point lead to the Waverley Falcons. They lead 69-64. 2:38 to go here in the third quarter. And another big stretch to end the quarter. Ringwood have continually been able to put points on the board late in the quarter to draw themselves back into this game. And it's on this another occasion they've got themselves into a tiny little bit of a hole here, Russell.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Waverley are really outplaying Ringwood at the moment, but they just haven't been able to mount the deficit they probably would like heading into the end of the third. 5 points up with 2:38 left in the period. A couple of guys in foul trouble on the Ringwood bench. Need to dig deep here, Ringwood, and make sure it doesn't blow out. Give it all their efforts heading into the final period.
And that was Matty Fennell's third personal foul as well. So he, Sean Clark and Jacob Gibson all with 3, whereas Desmond Simmons the only one to have 3 for the Falcons. So that was a big play in the scheme of the foul trouble as well. Could have been Simmons' 4th potentially if they called it that way. It's one of those ones where I don't mind if that's a no call in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But the referee saw it differently. Has given Fennell the foul as Simmons goes to work against McKay.
Has struggled a little bit in the low block. Has looked good facing up and shooting from distance, but Simmons just that he struggles trying to go to work and shoot that jump hook or that fade away. So Truman coming off the double screen down low, goes to Osborne instead. Low post feed to McKay. Truman, they're just trying to find him. Arkell's all over him. That's a tough shot. That would have been a big basket for Ringwood.
Leasting pushing the ball after a great defensive rebound.
Great
snowball
from Matty Snowball, as you say, Russell. Stayed on the ground and got his hand in there. Very smart from the Ringwood Hawks point guard. Latham's been good. No need for the dribble. He just turns around, banks it in. Little shove for Jason Reardon on his way. And we're back to a 3-point game.
Yeah, nice seal there by Truman. Good find by Snowy as he gets his 9th dime.
Leasting with the backdoor cut, couldn't get his hands on the ball. Deep 2, and the kick up from Reardon. A bit of Draymond Green about that one. Unsure if that is allowed. Reardon just kicked his leg up trying to draw a foul, but got a whole lot of Nathan Truman. And it's a baseline foul called on Chris Arkell. That'll be his 3rd, just to keep an eye on that one.
Change being made here by Elias. Arkell grabbing a seat with that 3rd foul you just mentioned, Hickey.
Dean Neville steps on. The long Dean Neville. Double screens, balls, gets into Latham.
Great body use there by Latham. Just could not finish. You'll be disappointed with that. Reardon had no choice but to take a swipe at it.
It was a bit of a late call, I think. There would have been anarchy if that wasn't called a foul. There was a contact. He got a fair bit of the ball, but there was a bit of contact.
Yeah, refs have to see whether the ball's going to go in, though, first. So that's why they in that circumstance, is why they're a little bit slow on the whistle.
Good call there, Andrew.
Trevor Latham, not an amazing free throw shooter, but he nails that one. Shoots just about 58% on the season and has the chance to nail the 2nd and cut the lead to just 1 point. 1:20 to go in the 3rd. The championship quarter. Neither team has taken a clear advantage. It's a 1-point ball game. What can the Falcons dish up? Jason Reardon hasn't really got going offensively yet. Can he fire up and start raining them from distance? Harper gets the ball. Speaking of Reardon, here he's in the low block, going at Truman. Couldn't get that one to roll. Neville sticks his go-go gadget arms out, but couldn't reel in the rebound. And Matty Snowball will come away with the ball for Ringwood. The handoff wasn't there. Good defense from Harper. Goes into Latham. Too big, too strong. Left-hand finish. And the Ringwood Hawks take a 1-point lead, and their bench likes it.
A great use of the rim there to protect the shot as he took Simmons on down to the post.
Great flick pass, rifle pass to Harper. Misses. There's some shoving going on underneath the basket. Back to Harper. Now this is the time where you'd see a big shot from Waverley, and there it is. Just as I say, you needed 2 goes at it.
Ringwood will hold it for the last shot. Sorry there, Hickey. Ringwood will hold for the last shot. as the shot clock is turned off. 15 seconds left in the period.
Ringwood have been great at finishing the quarters. They've done it again here, but Waverley answer back. Snowball to come off it. Thought about the triple. Kicks it across to McKay with 2. Gets the right-hand floater up, and it's nothing but net. We've got a tied ball game heading into the final quarter, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're after. We've got a ball game on our hands. Game 2, 72 apiece. It's do or die for the Falcons, whereas the Ringwood Hawks can win the championship with a game in hand. What did you see in that third quarter, fellas?
Well, to be honest, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I felt like Waverley were outplaying Ringwood. They just couldn't mount the lead that they might have liked. And as we've seen Ringwood do again and again, as Waverley challenge and build a charge, Ringwood just chip away. And they've done it again, bring it back to level at three-quarter time. Andrew?
And yeah, that's... sorry, I'm just in the middle of setting up some replays for us. So we can actually have a look at a few replays while we go there. And
multi-talented Andrew Seabrook.
Well, you know.
Does it all.
We have to do a few things today. So, yeah, look, again, this is what I predicted at the beginning of the game. It was going to be tight. And I think what we're seeing here is Ringwood coming in with a bit of a charge. It's going to all depend on who can come out in this first couple of minutes and really establish themselves on the game. If Ringwood gets out to an 8-point lead, I think it's all over.
And if they can get the crowd into it as well, whereas if the Falcons can just quiet them down a little bit.
Yeah, so the crowd has not been in this game at this stage. So you're absolutely right on that.
It'll be very interesting to see how these fouls play out heading into the final term. As you said, Hickey, Simmons, Arkell with 3 apiece for Waverley, whilst Gibson, Clark and Fennell, thank you. The third one on the Ringwood side with 3 fouls.
The bench been massive for Ringwood. Latham 12 off the bench, Truman 16 off the bench. Well, it's 21 and 20 for Harper and Arkell respectively. As we see, the Hawks will start us off, and there's a foul, that time on Kelleher. Some Waverley fans wanted to push off, but that wasn't going to be the call on that occasion. And Matty Snowball already with the double-double, 10 points, 10 assists, and just 4 rebounds to go along with that as well. So 14 seconds left on the shot clock here, this first possession of the fourth and final quarter. And Mike McKay picks up from where he left off in the third. A tough right-hand finish hanging in the air, and Ringwood take the advantage. And like you said, Andrew, if they can get out to a lead here, it could be dangerous. And that'll be a baseline ball as Harper drew the foul, attacking on that left hand. Also
mentioned the crowd, and after that, Mike McKay banked to start the quarter. Boy, were they loud.
9.5 to play. A long, long way to go in this one. The Ringwood fans starting to smash on the boards out here as well. This is where Simmons has been good. And as I say that, he nails the jumper and replies to that McKay too with 2 of his own. That faked handoff again for Snowball. Backs his way in. Looks to go up. Tough falling shot with the right hand. And the Hawks starting to just fire up a little bit and find some form. It is getting loud out here at the rings. Don't you worry about that, Harper. Can he silence him again? No, way off on that occasion.
Yeah, lucky break there by Ringwood, because I think there's a bit of miscommunication defensively to leave him wide open.
What can the Hawks come up with? A chance to push it out to a 2-possession game for them. McKay pushes his way in. Right hand finish, no good. Latham's everywhere. Did enough to get the ball to Truman. McKay down to single digits now on the shot clock. Snowball into Latham. He's been good. Corner Truman. Can he bury it? You betcha! It's been that kind of game for Nathan Truman, and it's a 5-point differential now for Ringwood Hawks, and their bench saying, get up Ringwood fans, get up Ringwood faithful. They're going to try and ride them home. Simmons thought about it. Behind the back spin, that was impressive. Don't know if he meant it. Harper looking to go on Latham. Good finish, he had the mismatch, and he took full advantage of it.
He's done a good job identifying that Harper. And Clark at the beginning of the last period. He took to task, and now he's doing it to Latham.
Snowball with a nice right to left crossover, draws the contact, and he'll shoot 2. Some intense moments in this first 2 minutes. No doubt that'll only grow as we get further and further down the stretch in this final quarter. Matty Snowball to the line to shoot 2. Makes the first. Shoots just over 70% on the year from the free throw line. A solid free throw shooting team, the Ringwood Hawks. And I've put the Mickey on him, as happens to happen, I think, at least once per game.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Reardon once again tries one of those ridiculous Steph Curry length threes. He couldn't hit it. As we see some of the Ringwood fans get stuck right into Jason Reardon, as they've done in many years past. Osborne, great take, great finish. Such crucial play from the bench role players for Ringwood. 6-point ball game, 82-76, Ringwood's biggest lead of the game. And they have a chance to get this game out of hand. Kelleher, little step back triple, that was pretty. Very pretty indeed. Snowball attacking. They want to go to Truman, triple was long. The Ringwood fans are riding that one home, Russell.
Absolutely, the crowd's right behind Truey at the moment. He's been the spark they needed as Harper goes again at Latham, but the help defense from Snowy swipes it away and says, not in my house.
Pinned it off the backboard, tried for the miracle pass, but there was a hand in there. As we see, Jason Reardon, as I said earlier, yet to really get into this game offensively, scoring himself. Has done a lot of the 1%ers, but can't hit it from range. And that will be a sideline ball. You'd assume the foul's called on Matty Snowball. And we get a chance just to take a little bit of a breath as Trevor Latham steps out, Jacob Gibson steps in.
Now Ringwood going small now to try and go toe-to-toe with the Waverley lineup.
Fennell in for Osborne. Good minutes again from Osborne. Oh no, it's Matty Snowball who's put his hand up and said, I need a break before this big run. I doubt it'll be a long one for Matt Snowball. Down to single digits on the shot clock for Waverley. Truman right in there. There was that side-to-side swing that we see a lot in the NBA. No foul called, but a good finish down low, and it's back to a 1-point ball game. Side to side to side to side, apparently, Russell. Stephen Osborne is aggressive on offense, and he buries it. A huge shot from Stephen Osborne. Has been super confident coming off the bench for Ringwood and comes up big there. Back down the other end, Kelleher tries to apply it short. Arkell comes up somehow with the rebound, try to give it off. Gibson with the hustle play. Looked like he was flicking a ball back in from the boundary in a test match. Doubt he would know anything about that.
No, I can't imagine, Hickey. 11 seconds left on the shot clock for Waverley as they inbound from the baseline.
They've been relatively good from the baseline plays, the Falcons. This Ringwood crowd, you can hardly hear yourself think. As again from range, as I say, that Desmond Simmons, he has been excellent shooting the ball from distance.
A long two there as his foot was just on the line.
Osborne looking to go again. Great flick pass. And Gibson will shoot too. Stephen Osborne channeling. He's in a Matty Snowball a little bit on that one.
Oh, no doubt. I like that little trick, body spin and a little flick behind him as Jacob comes through the key.
And it is a timeout to Waverley. 2-point lead to Ringwood, plus they'll have 2 shots from the free throw line. 5 minutes, 33 seconds to play in this game 2. Russell, down the stretch, what do both sides need to do to take this game by the scruff of the neck?
Well, I think it's defensive stops now. And it seems that both teams, if they get through their sets, get to the open guy, they're getting okay looks. It's who's going to be able to get stops. Mindful of Snowball sitting at the moment for Ringwood as well. He's been a massive factor in this game. As you said, he's got the double-double already, 13 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds as well. I can't imagine he'll sit long unless there is a bit of a niggle that he might be carrying.
himself, Jacob Gibson, Matty Fennell and Sean Clark all with 3 personals, as well as Nathan Truman, so keep an eye on that. And for the Falcons, Arkell, Harper and Simmons with 3 as well. Andrew heading into this last half of this final quarter. What do you think that Waverley need to do to take the win?
Score baskets. It's as simple as that. They have to score baskets. And you know, it's really what I said to you before, is that they need whichever team gets the early run. It's been Ringwood so far. So
Gibson nails the first free throw, pushes out that lead once again, shoots over 80% from the free throw line. Hopefully I haven't put the knocker on him here, and I haven't, thank the Lord. 4-point ball game, Ringwood's favour. Here we go, buckle in ladies and gentlemen. It's sure to be a fiery and exciting finish to this game 2, the Big V State Champ Men Grand Final Series. Reardon with the ball at the top, he's held it for a long time, goes hard to the left, flicks it over, Kelleher for 3. It looked good out of the hand, and it was good. Great find, Jason Reardon. Hasn't been able to get his own scoring game going, has found his teammates though, and he is also on triple-double watch like Matty Snowball. They take the space away from Truman, but he attacked the rim. Got blocked, hits the ground as well. Harper, big block from Jacob Gibson. And a shout out to the heavens, he's happy about it.
We spoke about it at that timeout. Snowball checking back in, 4:52 to go as Stefan Osborne takes a break.
So Waverley been good out of wide open 3, Arkell. Kelleher made to look a bit foolish. Was off doing the Andrew Bogut celebration before it's even gone in. Truman in the corner, great pass to Fennell. Good right hand finish. 3-point ball game here at the Rings. Reardon 7, 8 and 6 for those keeping track at home. Looks to make another assist. Harper didn't even look at the basket on that occasion. Fennell got jumping, that's going to be a foul. And Simmons really wanted to finish that one and get the and one, but he'll have to just settle for shooting 2 at the free throw line.
Yeah, nice move there by Simmons. Probably a good bump there by Truman to recognise that he had a clear lane to the bucket after beating Fennell off the dribble. Might have seen a flush had we not had that contact.
So the first is good from Desmond Simmons. Has been shooting the ball very well. He's up to 21 points now. Make that 22 for Desmond Simmons.
1 point game.
1 point game, as Andrew says. McKay goes the handoff to Gibson. Gone a bit quiet since the first half. Somehow gets the ball back. Truman, step back, step in, step back again. Not quite. McKay fighting for the boards, but Jason Reardon comes up with it for the Falcons.
And how there wasn't a travel.
Yeah, he might have slid some feet there, Andrew. I agree.
Well, it was the circle that he went through.
Big block from Jacob Gibson. Said no thanks to the 200-centimetre Simmons. Fennell attacks, and it's going to be a Ringwood ball.
The crowd is working right now. The screams are deafening.
It was one of those NBA-style moves earlier on from Nathan Truman. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Ringwood have got a lot of time here. They lead by 1. A lot of standing around. Eventually comes out to Matt Snowball. Splits the double again. Great find to Fennell. Finishes right hand. We've seen that 1,000 times this season. Jacob Gibson trying to get the fans to get even louder out here. I can't hear myself think at the Rings. Reardon with the ball. 3-point ball game. Waverley with some work to do. Simmons got himself into some trouble but bailed out. Kelleher. That's a tough look. And a rebound from Matty Fennell, and he says, let's just take a second, take it easy, and let's use it.
Yeah, clock's there, Fran. They're not only 3 points up, but they've got to slow it down. Waverley like the up-tempo basketball, look to push it. Just need to settle and make sure they're getting good looks out of structures.
Matty Fennell just pull up triple. Oh, and he nailed it. And he nailed it. A big triple from Matty Fennell. Points to the sky, thumps his chest. 6-point game. Waverley with some serious work to do now. Under 3 minutes to play. Arkell in the low block, stripped, No foul call. Matty Snowball hit the ground. He says there's blood on me.
He's just chipped a tooth, I believe he's saying. He copped one to the face as Arkell turned around and made that bank shot. He's lost part of or an entire tooth.
Will we have timeout called to Ringwood just to give Matty Snowball a chance to recover? Will this be the last game of the Big V Championship Men's Series, or will we go on to tomorrow to see the captain, Sean Clark, who has the privilege, the captains are allowed to have words with the umpires. Ken Harrington also just asking what was up with that one. 4-point game, Ringwood with the lead. 2 minutes, 32 seconds to play. It's been fun, and no doubt it'll be a fun finish, Russell.
Oh, without a doubt. High intensity, high scoring, just insane basketball. For those watching at home and those in the stadium, this is what you want to see. Elite level, Big V basketball, state championship men. You'd expect nothing less in a grand final series.
Now, in this timeout, what would both coaches be saying to their troops with 2.5 left to play in what could very well be the last game of the season?
Look, I believe it's about stops. First of all, I mentioned that earlier on. And it's about trusting your structures and taking the shot that's right for you. No need for heroics, anything like that. Trust the things that you've worked on all year. Trust the fundamentals and pray.
And pray. Nice little way to finish there from you, Russell. And pray. We're also lucky enough to have a number of the Big V members, a couple of Big V TV members in the crowd with us. One shaved head I see in this crowd as we've got under 2.5 to play. We've got 12 seconds left on the shot clock for Ringwood. Snowball looking to go to work, and he gets the foul that Ringwood have been looking for all night long. So next foul for Waverley, if it's a defensive one, will send the Hawks to the line. Gibson will inbound the ball for the Hawks. Let's see what they can get out of this. What have they drawn up? Snowball will be the bailout long pass. It goes to Fennell. Truman, who's been excellent all game. Fennell maybe thought about another three. McKay up fake, took some contact. That floater again, not quite. And back come the Waverley Falcons. Arkay thought about the triple. Arkell. Reardon goes, draws a foul. Couldn't get the shot to roll. It's been the story of his night, Jason Reardon, but now we'll shoot 2 to cut the lead back to just one possession.
2 minutes exactly left on the clock now as Reardon heads to the line.
As we said earlier, Jason Reardon shooting just over 60% from the free throw line, but he's a better shooter than his stats probably say. As also very close to that triple-double watch we were talking about. He's got his 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and now he's up to about 9 points. Inside the last 2 minutes. The 2-minute warning, been and gone. Deep triple, Jacob Gibson. No, not quite. And a chance to either tie or take the lead for the Waverley Falcons. 94-92 they trail. Harper a long way outside the line. Didn't shoot it. Kelleher with the ball now. Down to 12 on the shot clock. Reardon is going to look to go to work. Might go to Arkell. Look for that fadeaway jumper. The Dirk style. There it is. Knee up and finished. Tied ball game. 1.5 to play. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to go right down to the wire. Into a zone now for Waverley, just to change things up late. Snowball for a 3. No. Gibson for the 3. You betcha. Huge shot.
Notice that on the last play, I was a little bit unsure whether they were actually sitting in the zone or a very loose man. It's a gamble. You've got to change something to try and win a championship, or when you're down. And with
Kelleher turns the ball over, and that's got to be a clear path foul, you would think.
Would be very, very close.
It's a foul on Jason Reardon.
2 shots irrespective because they're in the bonus.
Jason Reardon may have gotten away with one there, you'd think. Was right on the cusp of being a clear path foul. But it'll be 2 for Matty Fennell. And on that occasion, Brad Kelleher looked to draw some contact, potentially a foul, but had no one to kick it out to. as we see some clutch free throws at the line from Matty Fennell. Jacob Gibson saying, we need you to the Ringwood faithful. Could this be the moment they've been looking at and for all season, as if Fennell misses the second? Or will Waverley force another twist and turn? Arkell. Charge called! And you never guess who it is. Matty Fennell with the drawn offensive foul. That's a huge one coming down the stretch, and he just says, let's take a breath, Storm, way to go.
No arguments there by the Waverley bench. I think that was the right call despite the referee's hesitation, or at least patience before making that decision.
As we see the four-wiping maybe one last time. And Waverley with some 2-2-1 press by the looks of things. They haven't gone to it much, but they really need to come up with a stop now, Russell. They
really do. And you can see that full court pressure again that challenged Ringwood in game one, especially in that final period. Snowy, calm and collected, trapped in the backcourt.
And it's going to be a turnover and Waverley ball. So a big play there for the Falcons. He had the bailout of Fennell on the other side of the court. I'm not sure if he heard him. And it'll be Waverley ball. They trail by 4, just a tick. The slightest of ticks under 50 seconds to play in the fourth quarter of game 2. Here we go, Jason Reardon. Can he once again break the hearts of the Ringwood fans?
Kelleher, top of the key, coming off a
deep
kick there by Reardon.
Oh my lord, not quite. Reardon looking for it. It's going to be Ringwood ball. And Reardon tapping the ball to the umpire. Bit of a veteran play. Wanted to give his team a chance to set up. He tipped the ball almost half the court back to the umpire, but no problems. Just a smart veteran move from him. Gibson, pass through it is the key. Has the bailout option of Snowball. They get it over halfway. The trap will come again. Splits it. Ball into Fennell. Up fakes. Right hand finish. And that could very well be good night for the Waverley Falcons. They call a timeout. It's a 6-point difference, and Matty Fennell getting stuck right in to Brad Kelleher. Some choice words. 100-94. The Hawks have timed their run perfectly. Have rarely been in front until this last quarter. As we see on the replay, Chris Arkell, that fadeaway jumper. How big was this three, though, from Jacob Gibson? Thank you very much. We've got 24.4 seconds left to play in this final quarter of game 2. And what can you do as the Falcons, Russell Lee?
Well, it's about getting a quick look here. I don't think a 2 would do. You've got to try and get a 3. And it's about getting a stop and or fouling thereafter. I mean, with Ringwood's current lineup, he's still a very good free throw shooter, but you're looking to foul probably Snowball at the line, forcing him to earn it from the charity stripe and then load up again. I believe that's Waverley's last time out, so they've got no further opportunities to progress the ball. Definitely do or die now.
And you would think that Waverley were going to gamble for the steal in the back court, and then when the ball gets to the front court, that is when they will foul. That is if they make the basket. And really important now that Ringwood do not foul. The clock is their friend in this occasion. They want it to run for as long as they possibly can.
Important to note now, though, Ken has timeouts. If Waverley do score, and no doubt he will get one to progress the ball, prevent that backcourt steal from the full court pressure.
Here it is, wide open lane. They decided not to go for the 2. Kelleher for 3, and he got it. And a big shot. Ball inbound to Gibson. They get the steal. Down to 3. Shot is good. 1-point ball game, and we have another twist and turn in this ball game. A great 3 from Kelleher. The steal and then the finish for Waverley. And Ringwood will have the ball. 1 point up. 12.9 seconds, and it couldn't have gone much worse for Ringwood. As we see there, Reardon kicked out, gave up the 2 for the 3. Great pass from him, understanding the position of the game that they were in, and a knockdown triple. And Gibson, Reardon, guess who? He came up with the tap. He wanted the ball on the perimeter, but a good pass from Simmons. We see here Simmons, great pass. and it was Harpo who finished on that favoured left hand. Russell, well,
yeah,
couldn't have gone much worse.
No, absolutely. A little bit surprised that there may not have been a timeout called after that triple made, especially because you run the risk of turning it over with that full court pressure that Waverley have been so good at putting on against Ringwood in game 1 and now game 2. Kenny drawing something up, no doubt, to eat away as much of the clock as possible, but whilst Waverley will go for a steal, I think they need to get that clock stopped ASAP because Ringwood still hold the 1-point lead.
This is what you're going to love about sport, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a battle of the fans. Let's go Waverley, let's go Ringwood. They're battling out. It'll be a Ringwood ball from the sideline. Snowball passing the ball in. McKay will be the option. They get it to Gibson. Ball's loose. They somehow get it to Snowball, and Snowball's fouled. Waverley pleading with the umpire saying it was out of bounds, but I think Jacob Gibson managed to put his feet up in the air and not avoid stepping out of bounds. It was just about the whole Waverley team complaining about that. They put Dean Neville in just because of his length, and it almost came up trumps for Waverley. Ken Harrington probably just skipped a beat when he saw that loose ball, but somehow it came in the hands of Matty Snowball. And we spoke earlier, he's probably not out of the group on the floor, not one of the better free throw shooters, but geez, if you want a guy with the ball in the clutch, Matty Snowball's your man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a champion of the club, 300-game superstar. No doubt he's approaching 400 here in the Big V. Nails the first, has missed the second.
And no timeout, so here come Waverley, down to 4. A 3 would win it. Reardon, not again. No, short, 1 second, and Ringwood are the champions of the Big V for 2017. Jason Reardon, probably not the shot he wanted to be the hero. He's done it on this floor once before, but it is the Ringwood Hawks who get that final stop, and the Ringwood Hawks who win 101-99 and take home the state championship men Big V Grand Final Series for season 2017. Waverley, they had the opportunity, Russell. They had the opportunity.
They absolutely did, and I think you're spot on there. I mean, Reardon did a great job bringing the ball up the floor, but probably not the shot that he could have put up had he gone an extra dribble or two. He had that little bit of time, but congratulations, Ringwood. Seconds.
As you say, congratulations, Ringwood. It was always looking straight out of the hand, but very, very flat. It was reminiscent, hard in the mouth stuff for a number of Ringwood fans who were here those many moons ago. Shaking of the hands from both teams, but Ringwood will be able to hang another banner from the stands. They win 101-99. It was a heart stopper. There's no doubt about that. High intensity game, just what everybody was looking for. But heartbreak in the end for the Waverley Falcons. We've got some final stats for everyone at home. Russell, for the Ringwood Hawks, who performed well.
Look, a number of guys really stepped up. For me, Snowball did a little bit of everything. 14 points, 13 assists as a point guard to go along with 6 rebounds. Matthew Fennell, again, just like game 1, 17 points, 9 rebounds, a massive factor. Trevor Latham, great off the bench with 12 and 8. Nathan Truman also contributing massive minutes and contribution off the bench. 19 points, 3 rebounds. And, of course, Jacob Gibson, excellent game with 17.
Great scenes out here on the Rings home floor. We see the players embracing everybody, kids loving it. Matty Snowball showing off his chipped tooth and what happened to him. The kids are impressed. Battle scars, a story to tell about. For Waverley, it was a fantastic fight from them. They really had the game in their hands early, and you've got to give credit to them the way that they took it right up and didn't give up late in the game. For them, Desmond Simmons, 9 of 13 in almost 40 minutes of play. He had 22 points, 3 steals, and 6 rebounds, 3 blocks to go along with that as well. Michael Harper, 25 points, was excellent for them. He had 3 triples as well. Jason Reardon couldn't knock down that final shot. He struggled from distance, 0 of 5. The Ringwood fans and the coaching staff will no doubt be pleased with that, but he finished 1 point and 2 assists short of a triple-double, 9 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals as well. And Chris Arkell you've got to give credit to him. He was fantastic. 26 points, 8 rebounds, and played with 4 personal fouls right down the stretch in those final minutes. Fantastic scenes here for Ringwood. Heartbreak for Waverley. You know from experience it's one tough thing to stand around and watch the other team celebrate a grand final win.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Icky.
Hey, for me as well.
Difficult for you as well, I know. Yeah, look, Waverley got everything to be proud of. You know, they eliminated some great opposition throughout the finals. They've got a great team, well coached. They've been a team to be reckoned with for a number of years. I have no doubt they will regroup and be another force heading into 2018.
And new coach this year.
And brand new coach, yeah, absolutely.
And nominated for Coach of the Year as well.
Well, you know, considering he coached both the girls and the boys, so 2 teams, which is a huge effort along the way, but also, not only that, quite a big roster change in the season as well.
Massive.
Losing one of their imports halfway through.
No Platinick as well.
Yeah, Platinick going. I mean, and that's huge.
Player for Waverley for a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the change in the team dynamic was huge. But tell you what, hasn't there been a lot of positives coming out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we mentioned the roster change. Dale Threat, obviously not being a member of that roster anymore, and a great point guard he has been for a very long time.
And Tim Leasting, one for the future as well for the Falcons. But you've got to give all credit for Ringwood. They turned up here on their home floor. Pressure was on, up 1-0 in the series, expected to close it out, and they did, despite a little scare late in the game.
Oh, a scare would be an understatement. A bit of a horror film, that highlight, no doubt. Ken will be quick to forget it, I'm absolutely sure.
And as I said at the start of the game, if he had any air left, it would be well and truly out by now.
Absolutely.
Kenny Harrington. So we see out on the floor, and this is one of the great things you've got to love about Big V basketball and this semi-professional level. The fans out on the floor, people amongst the club, so happy with their team win, going up and congratulating the players. It's one of the great parts of sport like this, isn't it, Russell?
It is, absolutely. Ringwood, very much a family club, and the scenes here on the Rings home floor, absolutely incredible. We have a great senior roster, great staff, great community behind the Ringwood Hawks, and you can see it right now. Unbelievable thing to be a part of.
So it's not quite clear as to what the preceding events will be.
Presentation's being set up there on the other side of the court, and I'm assuming that they will get that underway in the next minute or so.
A prediction for MVP at all?
Oh, it would be tough. I'm a little bit torn between, to be honest, Matthew Snowball and Matty Fennell.
Yeah, I agree. Very tough to call. I think you've just got to go with, probably for me, Matty Snowball. I love Matty Fennell, and he's been brilliant, but Snowball down the stretch just come up with a number of big plays and is the spiritual leader of that Hawks team. Again, quick shout out to a number of our sponsors. We've got Ringwood Nissan, the home of the beautiful Nissan X Trail. You've got Original Joe's located at 66 Main Street in Croydon. I might pop down there after today and get myself a nice pizza. Optus at Stud Park. Just ask for our man Luke Brody. He'll be able to help you out. Bendigo Bank Ringwood, great supporters of the Ringwood Hawks School and Community Program. Credit to them. You've also got Noel Jones Ringwood, selling, buying or renting, Russell. That's the one.
Yeah, that's it. Brett Freeman, go and see him. Great sponsor.
Selling, buying or renting. In attendance as well, so thank you to those guys for getting down. And finally, FODMAP's Foods have been a partner of us for a while now. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the off-season stuff, all the celebratory things as well. Check out that. Hopefully not too much more of my head up there. Let's hope. So the presentation just getting underway. You might not be able to see it. It's over near the scoring bench. There's just a number of people on the floor. Good luck to them trying to clear those out. So once again, credit to the Ringwood Hawks in the game that we're all looking for, that you don't always get in the grand final series. Sometimes it can fizzle out, not be high scoring, but high scoring affair. And first to 100 wins. It's the classic saying, isn't it?
It is. I'm not sure if it's basketball necessarily. AFL definitely, but basketball a lot closer. But I still like the rule.
And those of you who have been trying to watch live stats, it appears that there is a a site issue on the live stats. A lot of the games are only showing incorrect scores, and
too many people on there looking to get on.
It's that
time of year for Big V, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a real shame there because it's showing and this is one of the big games, Collingwood versus Pakenham, in a absolutely stacked house, showing as 28 all. So it's at this time of the day, it will definitely be more than that because yeah.
If we can get anything more for you there,
might try and just see if we can find out what actually was going on there, and we'll see what happens.
So still struggling to get the number of Ringwood fans off the floor just to get the presentation underway. And geez, it's a tough time for Waverley. They've got to stay out there, and they will stay out there because it's the thing to do, but tough to watch the other side celebrate with their fans.
Yep.
Our prediction over here is probably Matty Snowball or Matt Fennell for MVP.
And a big shout out, to Milosh, who has sent us messages during the coverage, and unfortunately we weren't able to notice that you've sent comments there, Milosh. So thanks for
tuning in.
Yep.
Thanks for your viewership.
And I think it's Shane Page as well has been saying nice things as well. So
and also Live Sport Australia for setting up and running this coverage, been excellent and been a pleasure to be a part of. No doubt about that.
And we hope many times to come.
Oh, I hope so indeed.
Many times to come.
So we're still just waiting on the presentation before we send that to you. Again, here it's Ringwood 101 to 99. They are the victors. They've come away with it. A very impressive outing for them. And it was, Waverley had the opportunity a number of times. They managed to get out to a 11-point lead at one point. As I just checked the stats, that was their biggest lead of the game. Ringwood's was 6 points, and they had that late 100 to 94, and then an almighty scare as the Red Sea begins to part out on the floor, and we will almost have time to head down the presentation. Just padding out just a little bit here, Russell.
Yeah, I can tell, Hickey. You're doing a great job as we have the Ringwood faithful and Waverley faithful clearing the floor, preparing for what I would assume would be a delegate from the Big V. Make some presentations, likely to start with our referees.
And if you're listening at home, good luck to anybody trying to listen to the speakers in here. It can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. Bit of a muffled mess, but if you miss anything, we'll try and relay it on through to you. Also good to see a number of the juniors and youth league players getting around and standing amongst the Ringwood Hawks. Also a quick shout out to Matty Roberts and Kate Fidelani, two members of that youth league team, under 20s and under 18 players who've had the privilege of being a part of that side. And I think already Sean Clark may have just cracked one. He may have just got into a can very early days, still on the court.
I'm sure it is a soft drink and nothing that would be inappropriate to be consuming in a public venue.
Well said from you, Russell. Spoken like a true teacher, no doubt about that.
See the best of every situation there, Hickey.
So the announcements are getting underway. We'll cross over to them, but if you struggle to hear anything, we'll try and relay the MVP and so forth. Have a listen into the presentations of the 2017 Champman Grand Final Series. So just a presentation to the referees, and it was Aidan Baker and Brad Henshaw, I believe, out there. Tough to gig umpiring in a grand final series, but they did it relatively well. Not too many problems, I don't think, out on the floor.
No, not at all. Emotions are high from both teams, coaching staff and players, so there might be a bit of jawing, a bit of questioning going on, but all for the love and passion of the event before us.
So it looks like the live stats site is back working again. So what we can do is let you know that in the Div 1 women, Chelsea girls at halftime are up by 4 points over Kilo Thunder.
Looking to level that series up, I believe.
Yeah, Div 2 men in a deciding game, Collingwood versus Pakenham, with a lot of our ex-players from both clubs in that game. 30 all. So they're going there. Down in Warrnambool, the Mermaids in Div 2 women. Form team of that particular division up against the Panthers. They're leading 43-18. It will be a Warrnambool win.
You would think so with that scoreline.
I think so. And the other one that's important to us here, of course, is the state champ women up at Sunbury, where the Jets at halftime are 7 points up over the Balloon Boomers, 23-16.
Low scoring one over there. They lead the series 1-0 as well.
And again, that'll be a fairy tale story if they get that one.
No doubt about that. Once again, the presentation, just some of the mandatory things that they have to get through. Thanking of the sponsors and the Big V and so forth. And a bit of a chuckle and ready to move along, I think. There's a bit of confusion.
Technical issue. Oh, he's back. His microphone died.
So now a delegate from the Big V.
Jen Durrell.
Some potentially sarcastic cheers coming from the crowd out here. They want to get along to the net cutting and so forth. And we're about to get into the medal presentation. Waverley first, the runners-up will be the first ones to be presented. Chris Arkell, the captain of the Falcons, to step up and say a few words and present his players. I think it might be a bit of an understatement that the Rings might need a bit of a tune-up for their PA system, Russell.
Yeah, look.
Not one to be critical, but...
no, a tune-up of the PA system would be wonderful. A nice grandstand. Blow out that wall opposite us. Roll out the seating, Hickey. Let's make everyone comfortable.
Christmas wish list, no doubt about that.
I have no doubt, and I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if the doors were locked tonight and some of our patrons were unable to enter the building due to the crowds that eventuated here for Game 2 of this Grand Final Series.
Earlier we saw Pat Golong receive his award. Slam dunk champion, I believe. Didn't get onto the floor on this Grand Final Game 2. But Paddy Golong receiving his medal as a number of them come up. Jason Reardon, a weird season for him. Started off with Corio and then made the change and the shift over to Waverley midway through the season. What a very, very handy pickup, just quietly.
Yes, a multifaceted, multiple threat style player. Very handy pickup.
And we see also a former Ringwood Hawks junior, Matt Scammell, receive his award as Chris Arkell. He couldn't make that out. Congratulating Ringwood, just complimenting on them on their season. And then what a fantastic season has been, and it has ended with the ultimate prize. Presentation of the banner, and also Coach Elias Polianis. That was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah. Been practicing that all morning. Now, hopefully someone at home's got the stopwatch out. This could potentially be the longest presentation in the history of the Big V. Don't know of the time to beat, but geez, it's got to be up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
So, Coach Polianis complimenting the Hawks there. And again, some technical issues. So just thanking his own team, commending them on the season. It has been a great season for Waverley. They did have some troubles and big roster changes, but you've got to give credit to them. Despite not having to finish the day we're after, it's been a great year for the Waverley Falcons as they hold up their runners-up banner. Not the one they were after, but still one to hang up at the home of the Falcons. And up steps Captain Sean Clark and also Matty Fennell.
Hasn't this been a great rivalry over the years between these two clubs?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, extending a number of years.
Even with players changing, it continues.
And of course, the last time these two teams met here, it was the Falcons cutting the net.
That's exactly right, yes.
Well, it would be interesting to see also in the off-season changes that happen across both sides. Moving of clubs, retirements, anything is possible in the Big V. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in that sense. But right now it's about celebrating the win for Ringwood.
No doubt it is. However, I'd probably challenge you on that, Hickey, given that Ringwood now have won back-to-back championships in the Big V, being 2016 and 2017. I would imagine that the drive will be for many of them to go around one more time and to see if they can get that hat-trick.
Well, it hasn't happened yet. If you think about it, Waverley got the double, Corio Bay got the double, and then Ringwood now has the opportunity. So
that's exactly right.
It's been a really interesting, particularly the last 6 seasons, has been very interesting the way that these 3 clubs have dominated the competition.
Very true.
You look at the banners hanging up for Ringwood. 2012 champions, 2013 runners-up, 2014 champions, 2015, well, that was when McKinnon broke the hearts of the Hawks when they had an unbelievable regular season. But also 2016 and now 2017 champions. The longevity of these guys is unbelievable, really. Jacob Gibson getting a big cheer from the crowd. He's been a fan favourite, there's no doubt about that.
Especially with our juniors. He coaches one of our VJBL teams. Does a lot of individual and group training with our young people in the club.
And now presenting the coaches, Coach Ken Harrington. Been doing it for a long time. He's like a fine wine, Russell. Gets better with age, Ken Harrington.
That's what he would say.
Yeah, I might even get my slab of beer from him, you see.
As we see, also Willie Weimer, player turned coach, assistant coach, receive his medal. Different role for him, but
no. Look, it's been great to see him continue on and be involved in the program. I think it's been fantastic because great player for many, many years. A lot of respect from the other clubs, and it's fantastic that he continues to give back.
Absolutely. You see his jersey up there hanging next to Snowy's in the rafters, also a 300-game superstar for the Ringwood Hawks.
And team manager Luke Brodie, don't forget, you can head down to Optus at Stud Park, and that man will hook you up. MVP. Mike McKay, not one that we predicted, but he did have a solid game out here for the Hawks. Finished game 2 with statistics of 10 points, 4 assists. Game 1 was also impressive. He had 22 and 7, was the leading scorer for the Hawks in that one. Mike McKay wins the MVP.
Great words there by Mike McKay upon receiving his MVP Series award.
Didn't do a whole lot statistically wise for in this game too, but just came up big when they needed that last shot to win the third quarter was one of them. And now the presentation of the trophy, the claw, you can put the game ball in there. 2017 men's champions. The rest of the team come over. Crowning moment for the Ringwood Hawks. Here's a chance to get your happy snap. Everybody in there. Another one to hang from the rafters for the Ringwood Hawks. They are champions for season 2017. Congratulations to them. Again, congratulations to the Waverley Falcons. They had a fantastic season. Sadly, it didn't end the way they were after, but a fantastic season for them. Russell, Andrew, any final words before we wrap this up here at the Rings?
No, look, an exciting game. Congratulations to both teams. Congratulations to both clubs. And we look forward to a bigger and better 2018. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Andrew?
Yep, I'll just echo the same sentiments. And hopefully we'll see a lot more of basketball streamed from Victoria and a lot more on Live Sport Australia.
Indeed, you do a brilliant job, Andrew, as does Live Sport Australia. On the commentary, also on the toggles, he does it all, our man, Andrew.
And have to compliment our camera crew today, Jaira and Michelle, who also do a fantastic job as well.
Everyone who's part of the production, it's been a great night, a great Big V 2017 season, there's no doubt about that. Here from the Rings, it's the Ringwood Hawks who are the champions for season 2017. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you and bringing you all the action from the finals. My name's Matt Hickey, thank you for your viewership and have a good night. Sweat out here.
Okay, there you go. Well done, guys. Well done, boys.
Awesome production, Andrew. Very impressive.